By law and constitutionally, we cede our authority to the executive, we cede our authority to the legislature, we cede our authority to the judiciary. But we have never really come to claim our sovereignty. And I'll give this example. The only time we as Kenyans have exercised our sovereignty is when we have had the Bomas initiative to discuss what became the 2010 constitution. And my opinion is we need to have more of those. And I even have a suggested timeline. We should have that forum every 10 years. The sovereigns should be able to meet and say, okay, we have a problem in the judiciary. What are the roadblocks? The judiciary will say we are not getting funding. We need 3% of the national budget. Currently, we're getting only 1%. That discussion cannot be held with the legislature and with the executive. Naturally, they have their own interests. If someone is elected to the legislature and has pending cases, they have no incentive, or they cannot be incentivized to add to the budget of the judiciary, because the judiciary will move fast, will expedite cases very fast, and they might likely find that such a person culpable. So their interest is to see that the judiciary is starved, so that they always have something to hold against the judiciary. That's one example. The sovereigns need to also understand, and here when I'm saying the sovereigns, I'm talking about the Kenyans in collective, not individuals in political parties, because that's where we always go wrong. Individuals in political parties will mobilize along political lines. But at the end of it, the totality of the Kenyan citizenry is what bears the brunt of those political decisions. And I submit that it is high time the sovereigns, me and you, discarding our political attire, saying, should we convene as sovereigns, call a meeting at Bomas? You're not coming to Bomas of Kenya as one political party or another, but you're coming to Bomas of Kenya as a sovereign, saying, executive, judiciary, legislature are not getting along. How can we unlock this? By resolution as the sovereigns, to say, okay, from today going forward, executive, you're saying you do not have the funds. We are saying from the 1% that you normally allocate to judiciary as a sovereign, it should be at least 2%. And we'll review this in another 10 years to see, was it effective? The other thing we're saying at the meeting where the sovereigns convene is that the sovereigns will give authority to the commissions. The commissions should not be at the mercy of the executive. We've always had this notion that for commission to get funding, you have to negotiate with the treasury. You have also to look at the line ministry that you're involved with and negotiate with them. We're saying we're going to cut that out, and the sovereigns will give you permission. So you prepare your case and say, we have been operating like this for the last 10 years. It's not effective. Sovereigns, give us the permission to get funds directly from the consolidated fund. A resolution is passed, taken to a referendum. Majority will agree or majority will say no. And from what the majority say as the sovereigns in a referendum is what we will now go forward with for another 10 years. If someone has a constitutional amendment to bring forth, it should not be from the realms of a political decision that we are not getting our way, we are not having our say. So we need to revise the constitution. It should be, we will present this matter to the sovereigns 10 years from now for determination to be made about whether what we are proposing, having seen the constitution war from 2010, needs to be, could I say, reignited, re-energized for it to work effectively. There's a lot I could say, but I also understand that when you talk too much, you miss out on the wisdom of the people who are in the presence. So I want to pause at that point and look forward to hearing from Chaka as well. Thank you, sir.
Jeremani, is this your first time to be on this show?
I have been listening, but this is the first time I'm actually participating live.
We want to really welcome you so much, and you need to be, you need to come more often. I really appreciate what you just said, and I think a lot of people will appreciate you out there, and because we need that kind of wisdom that you do. So be an open person, always come in. We need more of you so much. Stay with us until the end of it, please, if you can. I want to appreciate you, and I want to really request you to stay with us. Just look for the national anthem somewhere. First answer, anza tu Google tu mahali tu, because you're going to be telling us our, not really singing. You don't have to sing it. You just have to just recite it. The first answer. If you can stay with us until the end of it, we will not be staying long today. Unless other people come in. But I really do appreciate you. The channel appreciates you, and I believe everybody in the comment section, everybody watching us really appreciates you. And welcome to this channel. Always come in, whether it's Mato, whether it's another moderator. Always come in. Your words are well heard. You're a Kenyan, we are Kenyans, Ontario, we're in the US, others are in wherever they are, but we have to speak matters Kenya. So we do appreciate. Thank you so much. Stay with us, hang out with us, listen to us, be able to talk to us, and let's keep this channel moving. Mr. Chaka, tuambie, Mombasa vipi? Mmenyeshewa leo?
Kumenyesha au tumenyeshewa?
Ndio nashangaa.
Tuko salama brother. Mzalendo kuendelea. But ile tu naombi kidogo nani Mato, naombi kidogo kwamba kuna nimesikia mahali ambapo kidogo anahitajika ni kama dakika 2 hivi, nitakuwa nimepeleka mzigo fulani hapo kwa barabara, ili kuna mtu anakuja kuchukua.
Chaka, simu kafanya nini leo?
Alau, unanipata?
Sasa umekuja, sasa umefika.
Ndio nasema naomba tu mniwe radhi kidogo, dakika kama 2 hivi. Nitakuwa niko hapo barabarani, nimeweka mzigo sasa, nimesettle, alafu tuzungumze vizuri.
So wataka tukupatie wakati ama bado utaendelea kuongea?
Ni tu muda yani nifike tu hapo, then nitarudi tuzungumze vizuri. Kuna mtu ananisubiria na kuna mzigo tayari nishafunga kwa pikipiki hapa.
Aya, sawa sawa, basi weka tu hapo, usitoke tu, endelea tu, tuko sawa.
Sawa sawa.
Hata naona Mise kaja. Mise, ukijipanganga kidogo, acha basi tuendelee. So I think it's a good discussion that, guys, we have. This is a channel that we really have a conversation, and I do really appreciate what we talk. Mise, it's good to see you, brother. Kama kawa, weni wetu kabisa. And actually, with no bila kusumbuana, let me just give you the opportunity to say what you want to say. Acha ni kuanzia. Na usinijaribu leo tafadhali. Tulimaliza. We're good.
I'm just going to say hi to all of you. And I'd like to sit back and listen it's only good manners to listen or to speak after your senior. In this case, Mzalendo and Chaka Mdune have spoken. So I will listen a little bit as I catch up with the topic of today. But it's good to see you, Mato.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Always nice to see you. And because actually we really need you here because actually you did a good job to come here, Mise, because with your expertise, there was something that I was struggling with here. We were talking about president's law, the presidents of law. When a case study. So we were talking about the case study of if your friend wanted to change and put BBI, while he already said, and the case was done by the Supreme Court last year, that he cannot, a president cannot initiate a BBI or a constitutional amendment process. So if a case study law has already been set, can that be changed? And it came from the Supreme Court. So I know while you're waiting to talk, I would want you to actually elaborate to people, because you're in the law, you're in the law part of it. Tell us if a case study law that has already happened actually to the Supreme Court, if it can be changed. So I want you, once you come in, to be able to say that. To be able to actually educate people on how that can change. Tafadhali.
So let me understand. Are you saying whether the president has the powers to overturn the ruling of the Supreme Court?
No. We are not talking about the president. We're just talking about the case law that was there. So last time,
when you said in this case that if my friend wants to turn around and bring BBI, I presume my friend in this case is William Ruto, right? Who is the president, right?
Yeah, but that's just in a cheeky kind of funny way. It's not like I'm attacking you.
Okay. So I don't understand the question.
So the question is, if a case law which was done by that the president cannot initiate a constitutional amendment, so can this one now overturn that? And it was done by the Supreme Court.
Mzalendo, why don't you put this to me in a UDA way that I can understand?
Connie, there's another language.
This guy Ndeto is not a lawyer, so I think I'm trying to read his mind. I want to go back to my Azimio days to try and read the mind of an Azimio supporter. Maybe this is what he's trying to say. Ndeto, chapter 6, is it chapter 16? Talks about the amendment of the Kenyan Constitution. So you are talking about the amendment, how the Kenyan Constitution can be amended. I believe that is what you are talking about. And the Kenyan Constitution can be amended. And there are some articles there, I think there are Article 256, something to do with that. I read it somewhere, nimesahau kidogo, but the Kenyan Constitution can be amended if it affects you, if it is talking about the Bill of Rights. Like there are some rights, the Bill of Rights, the sovereignty of the people, things like that. The term of office of the president, what parliament should do, you know. Those are the things that are outlaid there. But again, it must also meet the threshold. It must gain like 20% support in at least I don't know how many counties. Is it the 47 counties or half of the counties, so that we can go into a referendum? The bill is brought into parliament. It is again taken to the president. It is a process to change the constitution of Kenya, especially when you read chapter 16. You will see the procedure of amending the constitution. The people of Kenya have to be involved. It will not just be involved. It will not just involve the parliamentarians alone. It is not an issue of the president. The president cannot initiate such changes. It must come from me and you, from the citizens. You know, that is why BBI failed, because BBI was initiated by the president and the prime minister, the former prime minister. So when the Supreme Court went through it and went through the law, they read the law is very, very clear. The president cannot initiate a change in the constitution of Kenya. And that is why we should protect our constitution through thick and thin. Because if you get a rogue president, anaweza jaribu kubadilisha hiyo katiba, lakini ni ngumu, because we will have to go back it will have to go back to the people, na waweke referendum question na tupige kura. So it is something that it is not doable, and I don't think Ruto is going that direction. Although there are some quarters in Azimio, they've been peddling that kind of rumor that Ruto wants to change the constitution to be a life president of the Republic of Kenya. That is impossible with the current constitution. So if somebody is out there thinking that Ruto will be president for life, forget about it. Tamaliza tamu yake 10 na aende nyumbani. Yep. I hope I attempted.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
That's very in order. I think now I understand what you were asking. I was struggling to understand what you're asking.
Mr. Let's give Chaka, because he always has a problem with his phone. Eh? Let's give Chaka to. I mean, I know will be here until the close.
All right.
Yeah,
let me
please.
say this quickly, so that as he comes, he can also continue. So basically, what my brother said from chapter 16 of the Kenyan Constitution, there are key things. The Constitution can be amended through the people and Parliament. So, and the people in this case, it means a referendum. So there is no way, in summary, just the way you've put it. So there is no precedence where you are talking about presidents or case laws. I don't know which case law you are referring to, because that's why I was trying to struggle and understand which precedence was set before that William Ruto is going to follow, or is going to use as a reference in his actions or quest to change the constitution, as you guys are what's the term?
Miss, let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Please, I mean, kuna mtu hata amesema ni Friday. Let's not just fight about this one. Didn't we almost, have a constitutional change that came as BBI?
No, because then that's what. Did you hear the conclusion of Mzalendo? Was it successful?
Yeah. So is that a case study or not?
Was it successful though?
Was that a case law study that can be there referred that on this day, according to this case of 2000 something, you are a lawyer. On this case of 2000 something, you guys say that we can, I mean, the case said that the president cannot be the initiator of whatever. Did that go into our constitution or did it not go?
To be very honest, I don't know where you are. Your questions are coming from everywhere. So, if it is in that context, of course, there is a ruling somewhere that did not allow the continuation of BBI or the enactment of BBI or the adoption of BBI. So, if someone wants to use that as a case law or a precedent, of course, by all means, is a ruling. Any ruling can be used as a precedent, president, depending on the similarity of the case that is put forth. So I can't say no.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to hear, because me sitaki kupiga sitaki kusumbuana leo. Anyway, moving on, and maliza alafu tupatie Chaka kidogo, and then now we can continue knowing that Chaka ashapeana. Mise, you good? Did you finish what you wanted to say?
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay.
You asked me to wait until Chaka speaks, so I'm waiting.
All right, thank you, Mise. I really appreciate it. And anybody else that wants to join in, you can still join in. I think the link is out there. We're still going to be here for at least another 1 hour, 2 hours. Chaka, njoo tuambie.
Asante Mato kwa muda ambao kwanza wameweza kunipa ili kuweza kuchangia. Vilevile nimsalimie brother Mise Mzalendo na wale wako kwa comment section. Leo mimi nitazungumzia tu kidogo. Real siku 100 ndio hizo zinaenda. Wakenya wakiwa bado hawajivunia na kuona kweli na kuwa na matumaini na hii serikali kutokana na utendaji kazi wao ndani ya miezi mitatu. Haujamwangazia mwananchi wa kawaida zaidi, na hilo ndio lilikuwa tegemeo la mwananchi, kwamba kupata new regime of which hii ni regime ambayo itamwangazia zaidi tu mwananchi wa kawaida huko mashinani. But still 100 days imeenda, yale tumeahidiwa kwa manifesto bado yamekuwa ngumu kuweza kuwa implemented na kutekelezwa. So for real, Wakenya bado tuko na wasiwasi na tuko na tashishi na hii serikali, na tujui ni jinsi gani itatuna, kwa sababu dalili ya mvua siku zote huwa ni mawingu na siku njema huonekana usubuhi. So hii 100 days ndio hizo zimeisha, still bado ni vitimbi tu na story. Then nikiregea katika swala la kuweza kubadilisha hiyo katiba, kweli ni lazima yote tunarejelea katika mwananchi. Aka kapange kadogo kanazungumzia kwamba hata bunge lina uwezo kasitumiwa zaidi, kwa sababu wabunge watatuamulia vitu ambavyo vitakuwa ni vina favor upande fulani. So the only way, njia nzuri ya kuweza kuamendi katiba, kila kitu kiletwe kwa mwananchi, kama vile ile mwanzo kwamba mwananchi ndio aamue. Kama tunataka kuongeza ofisi ya prime minister hapo, tunataka kutengeneza nini, tunataka kuongeza nini, lakini ishirikishwe mwananchi kikamilifu, kwa sababu mwananchi ndio mlengwa zaidi. Lakini kama itakuwa kwa wabunge, basi itakuwa ni kwa favor ya wabunge na wale wako juu katika mamlaka, wale tuliwatuma kazini ili ipate kuwasaidia, na sio njia sahihi, kwa sababu wale tumewateua wako pale juu, kazi kubwa ni kumtengeneza mwananchi. Awe rais, shida kubwa ni kumtengeneza mwananchi. Awe mbunge, shida ni mwananchi. Awe governor, shida ni mwananchi. So haya masuala ya katiba tusiabezi tu kwamba labda nini, yafikirie zaidi, na kama itawezekana irudi back kwa wananchi waamue. Na hata BBI haingepitishwa tu na wabunge huko tu direct. Kama ingepitishwa still bado ingeletwa kwa wananchi waamue, ila wanataka ama hawataki. Sasa hii hatuna hizi, si mambo tunayoona mato. Let's bring, tulete hii miswada kwa wananchi waamue kama wako tayari kuingiza hivyo vipengele, kwa sababu tunaviona kweli vitatufeva na kutusaidia, sawa. Lakini swala la wabunge kupitisha huko kwa huko, mimi nalipinga, kwa sababu najua bunge litafeva nani, litamfeva yupi? So itakuwa hii mambo tuna amend ni kwa ajili yao ama kwa ajili ya mtu fulani, kitu ambacho si kizuri. Hiyo tu ndo mchango wangu wa kwanza, ili kusudi baadaye nitarudi tu kuweza kufanya mambo mengine kusubmit, lakini hayo ndio maoni yangu ya kwanza. Siku 100 zimeisha, hakuna kitu, na ni sawa Wakenya kwa frustrated, kwa sababu hatuna chochote cha kujivunia. Na amendment back kwa referendum iletwe kwa wananchi, ndio tuweze kuingiza chochote kwa katiba yetu. Hayo ndio naweza nikazungumzia kwa sasa. Asante Mato.
Asante sana. Twashukuru. Mise, thank you so much for being here. Mzalendo, asante. We've gone through a trajectory, tumefika mahali, but now I want us to go back actually and discuss what it is, because tulikuwa tumepotea kidogo. So Mise and Mzalendo, can we all of us go back to sasa tunasema, are Kenyans frustrated with Dr. Ruto's close to 100 days? We are closing up there to 100 days. Are we feeling frustrated? Do you think anyone is frustrated? And also, the gambling career, is it a gambling career or game? Are we gambling with our society? Are we trying to make, the way I read it, and maybe this is me, hii ndio naitoa kivyangu, is it a game that you're playing with our, I mean, the government is playing a gambling thing with us? Because I'd like us now to start talking about, especially, I want us to talk about the scholarship that we were told was scholarship on Jamhuri Day. Was there a scholarship? Has anyone tried to look at that thing? Waangalie kama kulikuwa na scholarship ama ilikuwa mchezo. Because from what I know and what I've researched, it's a free online course. It's free for everyone. You don't need the government. You don't need anything. I've gone in there to Arizona, ACU website, and there was no scholarship.
Can I ask you a question?
You don't even need it.
Can I ask you a question?
Let me just finish. I'll give you your time. Let us Sinanini. You'll have your time. There was nothing. And I think the government is playing us. The reason I'm saying that, not even the government, Ruto is playing us. You cannot go on national TV and say that people are going to get scholarships of 100,000. 100,000. So that is going to put, what do you call this, into the budget. Where is this 100,000 going to? Who is it going to? And how many people? You know, because at the end of the day, that thing is very open. It's just as long as you have an internet and you want to look at it, it's a free scholarship that is online for everyone. Myself, I can pull it up on my computer I can pull it up on my phone. It's free. So when they say 100, who said it was 100? While at least equal free. The same way we had the the fertilizer that was also free, but it was charged into Kenyans' budget. So why are we having a free online thing charged to Kenyans? And at that point, are Kenyans frustrated, or are we not frustrated? Please educate us. Miss, I think you wanted to say something. Maybe you can start. And I think na Miss nani ajongea alikuwa hapa. Jeremani akapotea kidogo. Can we, Miss, do you want to go or do you want to let him go?
I think I came in when he had finished to speak, so I was
Okay.
just asking your question, anyways.
Sure.
When you as Kenya with Love, when did you learn of this free scholarship?
I had already known about it. I just didn't know that's what Ruto was talking. But today, I just want us to have a conversation. But I had already known what it was because it's something that has been there. It's something that I know so many people have done.
When did you confirm? If you knew it was there, when did you confirm?
Confirm what?
That indeed there is a free scholarship in the University of Arizona.
No, Ruto kept on saying that. I didn't know what he was talking about because the free thing was always there. I mean, people do it every time. It's just a free course online, and what it gives you just gives you a certificate of completion, which really is not recognized anyway.
So, I'm just going by what you just told us a few seconds ago. Mzalendo, unless I didn't hear him clearly, he said he even went in and checked and confirmed it's free. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, meaning that because you are not very sure, you want to confirm and check. Information is power. That's why they say.
Okay, Mr. Lest you misinform people or misconstrue me. What I'm saying, when I went is when the QR code, I told someone to send it to me. Okay.
So you went in to confirm. Why did you go in?
Because I wanted to know this scholarship that he was given, but then I realized it's the same thing that I know.
So if you knew about it, right?
I did not know the scholarship, dude. Can you understand what I'm saying?
I
did not know what Ruto was giving people.
Mzalendo, is Kenyan Love not contradicting himself?
No, listen.
As always, these are Azimio fellas.
No, listen, guys. There's no Azimio here. There's no nothing. Okay. And don't misconstrue what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, no, Mr. Don't come with that propaganda issue.
It's not propaganda. I'm just asking you.
What I did, there was a scholarship that was being, a QR code that was being done. Okay. I asked somebody to scan that QR code and send it to me, only to find out that it was the same thing that I know in the US, and I can bring you a lot of people here that have known that thing for a long time. It's a free course.
My question basically is simple. So you knew about it. There are many Kenyans who didn't know about it. Is that correct?
So does that make it a scholarship?
Will I be right to say that?
Yes, you're very right. But does that make it a scholarship for 100,000 when it's free?
Okay. So now, first of all, what I was just basically saying that information is power. When you are given information, it's up to you to decide what you do with the information. Now, we have not seen the government allocating that budget or at the end of the fiscal year, where we will see that they spent $100 million or 100 million towards the scholarship that was given to Wananchi. Why don't we wait for that? When they say that, when we see that that money has been spent towards that, then we can hold them accountable and say, hey, this is free. That is the way I'm seeing it, Kenyan with love. But you might be surprised that a lot of people, up to including myself, I didn't know that there's that free scholarship or free education that is being offered by that university. So that is what I was trying to suggest.
Understood, and I agree with that. But ignorance does not cost 100,000. You know, and when I say ignorance, I'm not saying that anybody is ignorant. Or basically, let me use a better word. Just telling people that there's something that you can go online and get it for free does not cost 100,000 and does not contribute to a scholarship. There's no scholarship for a free online study that you can get anytime. So to me, if you ask me, and I stand corrected, but I believe this is what it is, because I believe hata mfanyikazi wetu nyumbani ama mtu yoyote can access
Yeah,
that.
but again, you are misquoting what the president said. The president said
He said 100,000
no,
and it's free.
He said that this scholarship would have costed costed you 100,000. Which part of English don't you understand there?
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything. Why would it have cost if it doesn't cost anything?
It is not free anywhere. That scholarship
is free.
To tell me of anyone who did a management scholarship in Arizona.
It's not free. A management. It's not a management.
Whatever
thing.
it is, whatever it is.
Go get in. What's your number? I send it to you so that you see.
But
Arizona State University. Yeah. Okay.
Let us first get the facts right. He said, in a normal day, this course would have costed 100,000, but maybe because of the announcement, if you're going, Mr. Mato, international students pay 3 times the local students. It's very expensive for international students.
Jesus Christ! Listen, the thing is free.
Let's paraphrase what he exactly said. He said, this course first is 16 units, okay? And he said the course unit, the cost of this course would, in a regular day, if you were to enroll without this QR code, or if I was a Canadian enrolling to that course, it would cost me an equivalent of 100,000. But with the arrangement they have made, and with the QR code that people were given, then now you can access it for free. What's wrong with that?
Me say all you needed to go is to go into to get your phone or go into a cyber cafe. The thing is free. There's no 100. There's no it would have.
Which one? Jeremiah, please interpret for our friend.
No, this guy, you, my friend, hii mambo ndeto bwana, umepanda ndege, umekuja 7,000 miles kutoka huko Machakos Gadhiani, na bado una akili tu ya Wakenya. I mean,
it's not a scholarship. It's an online
living
course.
in diaspora should open your mind. Unasikia?
I have. I'm telling you.
Arizona, listen, Arizona State University has offered so many scholarships, maybe to Uber drivers as a subsidized course. Saa zingine wanawapatia free. It's not really free. You have to negotiate for it. The Nigerian government is even has negotiated with Arizona State University. So Ruto did not just wake up and go to the internet and start coming up with, hey, kuna nini Arizona hapa, Wakenya aplaini. That is what you are trying to say. Are you trying to say that this thing has been free all along? People have been
Yes.
doing
Yes.
these courses for free?
So even so, Jeremiah, you are going to let us put this home. If it was free, there were thousands and thousands of Kenyans who didn't know that it was free and it's offered. So by courtesy of this
Knowledge
day,
is power.
yeah, so they are given now those who have. Let me tell you an example. We came here some days back, and we gave information about how people can migrate to Canada. You know, when a lot of people were busy abusing us here, throwing wakitutukana wakisema nini, we have received a lot of inquiries na watu wengi ambao wengine tumeanza nini their process. So it's up to the person akipata information, you know what, it's up to you what you want to do with the information. So what we want to hold the president accountable. Amechukua this 100,000 for every Kenyan who is enrolled to this course na akaiweka kando, akasema hii 100,000 tutaitumia kama serikali, ama it was a cost towards the courses that are offered at University of Arizona. If that is the case, then Ruto is a thief. If not, then we should applaud him for at least giving us information. The information is free. It's up to you to decide what you want to do with it.
So that information cost 100,000.
Oh my goodness.
You jamaa, Jeremia, hebu ongea bwana.
Asante. One of the things that I've always wanted to share, and I'm glad the opportunity has arisen today, is it possible for this forum to have, say, and I'll share the background to my suggestion. I have a lot of people who talk out there, make a lot of powerful statements, but rarely do those statements convert into actionable activities. And one of the things that I thought this forum could be of value is to convert some of these discussions that we're having here into actionable either activities or outcomes, where someone would, for example, be volunteering to make notes of some of the key debate points that arose from the discussions, and then say, I will try and find the answers for these to these questions. That's a general statement. The topics that we have here, the topics that I've seen here, are very, very informative. And I'm thinking that if we are able to convert, say, a topic like this, scrolling, Kenya's frustrations with Dr. Ruto's administration, hardly 100 days in office, we'd be able to list a lot of points that we can say, let us convert this into action. And one of the forums that I attended or listened to previously, maybe 3 or 4 days back, discussed about converting some of the discussions that we have here into action. Now, the question Martin asked, I hope I'm not going out of script by using the name, but let me use the screen name. The question that Kenyan with Love asked, are we, if I may paraphrase it, are Kenyans frustrated And then it generated into the element of 100,000 scholarship. Let me start with the 100,000 shillings. We have something in Kenya, I don't know if it's the Freedom of Information Act or something similar to that. It's possible that someone can write a letter to the office of the president and say, did you give scholarships worth 100,000? Or was the value of the scholarship you talked about worth 100,000? We need clarity. Submit a letter and have it on record. It is unconstitutional for the office of the president not to give you a response. That can be one way of getting the answers. That's number one. I go back to the point you raised about Kenyans being frustrated. I listen to the discussions. I look at Twitter. I look at news. There is a lot of frustration from where I sit. I see that there's a lot of frustration. Is it 90 something days into the new administration? But yes, I see that there is a lot of frustration. And I go back to that initial discussion and I say, should we cede authority or should we cede our sovereignty all the time to judiciary, to legislature, to the politicians? We may never get the answers. And I still insist, the sovereigns, we need to come together aside of our political inclinations and say, we want these answers as the sovereigns. Whoever does not have authority, we will give you the authority through a referendum and through all the mechanisms. I say this again because the last sovereign that Kenya ever had was the Queen. And when we got our independence, all Kenyans became sovereign. But we have never known how to exercise our sovereignty. All the time we've exercised it through ceding it to the various arms. And these various arms always come into conflict with each other, and the people that come into those offices also come into conflict with their own interests. The only way, and this is my final point, that we can get back to getting all those answers we want is exercising actively the sovereign power. Thank you.
Gerard, you've not answered the question. We asked for your intervention in giving us the interpretation, the pedestrian interpretation of the sentence would have cost. It would have cost. What is your understanding of that, so that we can be on the same, on the same page as we continue to debate?
Right. Thank you. I listened to the president when he made the statement. If you ask me right now, to be honest about what I heard in the context of this debate, I may not recall word for word. But maybe because the speeches are there and I've seen that we normally play the videos, if the video can be found and the portion played, then we may be able to answer that question. That's my submission.
Okay, so can I ask you a question, Jeremiah? What is your understanding of it would have cost? It cost and it would have cost. It will cost and it would have cost. What is your interpretation?
Thank you once again. So when we say it would have cost, the dimension it takes here is that it does not cost that much now, but it would have been the case. That's my interpretation to that. Now, would have cost. There's also the element of, is it a real value or is it a perceived value? And then the question also would be thrown to the person who made the statement. How did you make the determination that it would have cost 100,000? Was there some evaluation conducted to see that this scholarship comparatively, either at KU, Nairobi University, Arizona, or wherever it would have been, costs this much? And then in the Kenyan context, this is how much it now costs. There's that comparative or analogous component to that statement. And as I said, the best way to get to the bottom of it, we may not achieve it in this debate, but the best way is for someone to come up and say, okay, I'm writing a letter to the office of the president to seek clarity on one, this scholarship. Was it real value, 100,000? Was it comparative value? Or how was the value derived? To end that debate, that's my submission.
Kenyan with love, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Matone, naweza changia hapo kidogo.
Mr. Let Chaka go for it.
Utata hapa ni mdogo tu. It will have hii kwamba inge cost 100,000 ama kama mimi nilivyosema tofauti ya ina cost kiasi fulani na hii ingal cost kiasi fulani. Nadhani lugha alitumia rais hapa ni hii ingal cost 100,000 lakini now it's free. Kwa hiyo hii iko free, ni kwa access tu. Lakini nilifuatilia sana mambo wakati wa Jamhuri Day. By the time watu walianza ku access hii, a few waliweza kupata, but wengi waliweza kufail. Kwa hiyo maana ya kusema hii ingaliweza kukosti kiasi hiki ni kwamba tayari kwa mtazamo mzuri, kwa mtazamo wangu hii ilikuwa na figure inawiana sawia na hiyo 100,000, lakini kwa sababu mahali amepata ama mahali amedrive back leta kwa Kenya kuweza kuaccess ni free, na ndo pale Mato anasema hii kitu ni free, haikuwa na pesa hiyo. Kwa hapa tusikanganyane kwa lugha tu, wakati hii kitu ni free, kwa sababu ingali cost ama ina cost sile bado wakati wa access hapa ni free. Kwa hiyo hii kitu ni free, tuamini hicho, haikosi lolote. Maana pia rais hajasema ina cost kiasi fulani, inasema hii ingali cost kiasi fulani. Hajasema kwamba labda pengine hii imelipwa na serikali kwa ni free, kwa serikali ilipa hii ni free. Kwa hivyo automatically hii inajereti ikiwa ni free. Kwa hivyo Mato yuko sawa kusema hivyo kwamba hii kitu iko free. Mimi kwa uchache wangu wa elimu hivyo nikachangia hivyo kwamba these things total free, sababu hata mwenye kuzungumzia hii hajazungumza kwamba ina cost hiki ama yeye amezungumza kwamba ingali cost kiasi fulani. Nadhani hapo tumeelewana vizuri hapo.
Mato.
Chaka unapotea kidogo.
Chaka amepotea. Umemaliza?
Nimemaliza.
Chaka amemaliza.
Umemaliza? Mimi ndio nimeanza pia kupotea. nani ameongea. Wacha tuende kwa nani? Kabla tuende kwa mtu mwingine, kila mtu ananisikia vizuri? All right, thank you. Bado hatujafunga. Watu wenye wako kwa, everybody in the comment section, we really thank you so much everybody that is listening to us. Na kama kuna mtu anataka kukuja, I'm gonna put the link. I think this is gonna be the last time I put the link on the comment section. If you want to come in and maybe kuna mali you don't agree with either me, Mise, or whoever is talking, you can come and give us a good contribution and tell us what it is all about. Sisi leo ni Friday, tunapenda kuongea na tunasikizana tu hata tusiposikizana. So the link is there. Kama unataka kuja, ingia, kuja utuambie, tusikizane na tufunge show pamoja. We will be closing the show here in about 20 minutes or 30, depending on how it goes. But this is a forum that we come and have a good conversation. We really appreciate it. Tunawapenda wote wenye wanatusikiza na kila mtu. So we keep on conversing. I think we have another 20, 30, 40 minutes, depending on how it goes. But we are here. Ukitaka kuingia, tafadhali just click on the link. You will be here. Already. Nani alikuwa next?
Mimi nilikuwa nauliza, ukaniambia ni subiri kidogo Chaka azungumze.
Okay.
Njerumani, asante sana kwa kujaribu kwa nguvu zako zote na bidii kutojibu swali ambalo lilikuwa just straightforward. It's a interpretation. If in every statement that the government makes or the president makes, we purpose to write letters to the State House expecting clarity, I think it will be exercise in futility. The government probably would be more, or the president will digress from working and doing assignments to look for opportunities that will benefit Kenyans, as opposed to answering trivial questions that can be answered through simple interpretation, English interpretation. It doesn't take rocket science to read that. For example, Mzalendo, let me give you an example. If an international student, I don't know, Njeremani, which part of the country you are, I am in Canada. If an international student comes to college, they pay international school fees or tuition fee. If a Canadian citizen or a Canadian permanent resident or a person who has been found to be in need of protection, or who is known as a protected person, pays $3,000 per semester, an international student will pay about $9,000 or $12,000. Now, using that example, I'll say, if I were a local student, a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident, or a protected person, instead of paying $12,000, I would be paying $3,000. I am sure if you go to Kenya as well, universities of Kenya, I'm sure international students from other countries like Nigeria and neighboring countries, the tuition fee is probably not the same. So what, to me, I'm seeing this government is doing is they are utilizing, or they purpose to utilize, the investment that we put in 2009 by having
Mr. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. Let me address something here, and I think you can address it you too. John Dirango, we are not going to accept. We disagree, but we are not going to address what you're talking. Sijui Mise, kama umeona, angalia kwa comment section. what John Dirago is saying.
I think John Indirangu is not doing anything wrong. He's speaking, he's expressing himself, because Azimio wanatutukana hapa, wanatukana William Ruto, wanamuita mwizi. Is the same thing. I think we should ignore them. He's expressing his
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to say.
Allow me to finish my.
Especially YouTube will not. YouTube itafungwa. You will not even be here. I'm going to cancel that.
I've not seen you doing the same to Azimio or diehards when they.
There's a guy who came here yesterday. Alikuwa na matusi. You gave him almost 20 minutes. Akiongea tu akitukana watu. And now today somebody has just written a comment.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to be having a session of kutusiana. We're not going to say what to kasoromkia and all that. We let's have a decent conversation.
You can only appeal, just appeal. We have a decent conversation, and also you should appeal to the Azimio, because they set precedents. They set the foot. We are following their footsteps. But before you interrupted what I was going to say, what was I saying? Before you, because you are very good at this. Every time we start speaking, you interrupt, you interject. But ideally, what I was saying, if someone gives you information is power. I remember when I was in my first year Mzalendo, I bought all the books. They were very expensive, very, very expensive. In my second year, I did the same thing. And there was this guy from India who actually came to me. He used to borrow my books because he never bought books anyways. So he used to come and sit next to me, and he made me his friend. So one day he said, I think you are a very nice guy. I feel like it's unfortunate that I'm using your books and I'm not spending money to buy my own books. He told me, hizi vitabu nanua, ukienda kwa Chinese, akanipatia namba ya Chinese, utapata the same book unanua $300, $400, $600 dollars. Unaweza inunua huko, imetengenezwa photocopy na kila kitu. Unaona? That information, that piece of information saved me a lot of money. So yes, there is a possibility. Ruto is not reinventing the wheel of telling us of new scholarships, but the fact that he has taken an initiative to tell us, and if they have extended, and communicated with that university and made any other arrangements on behalf of Kenyans, I mean, for me, that is good, and that is the work of the government to negotiate for us. And I think what Ruto is emphasizing on digital space. In 2009, Kenya invested a lot of money on fiber optics. And that's why even, Kenya has the best internet among other countries, even has the best internet than even Canada, the best infrastructure, because imekuwa installed recently, as opposed to a country like Canada that installed the infrastructure almost 50 years ago, or almost 100 years. Now they are saying, how can we make use of our digital space online? Kenyans are making a lot of money through online, so they are encouraging people to use online and get these courses. Do you know how many courses I have taken that are given by your employers? When you go out there, don't you use them on your resume that I have this qualification and this qualification, yet you did not pay anything for them? You got them free. And when you say they are not recognized, who says that it's not recognized? Because if you verify that you for real, unless you're talking about accreditation, it's not accredited. It's not a credit course. If it's not a credit unit, then that's different. Does the job that you want to do need accredited diploma or accredited course or something like that? That's different. But education, when people have the opportunity to go for education and the government is extending and encouraging its people to have to go for education, I think by all means, do you know that Canada brings a lot of people who come to Canada are the most educated people. Most educated people come to Canada. People with PhDs, masters, degrees, and Canada, unlike US, Canada brings in 350,000 every year, from a range of 250 to 350,000 every year. Experts who come in through skilled worker, who come in through other ways of migrating to Canada. So I think when the government is opening our ways out there, even by going to those classes, if they are online classes, you are meeting, you're making connections. You are the same people that you are having. If it's a virtual class, you're making new friends, and these new friends can give you information that can help you that you couldn't have gotten if the government didn't open that door out there. I think
You see, Mise,
about the government for trying.
Mise, with all due respect, I think we had a whole show dedicated to you on how people will come to Canada. I think we did that. And we have people even on the comment section, which is, they're still in my my chain of thought, who are asking me to ask you, and I think you can see for yourself, to define what a scholarship is.
You know, that's
because no, just hold on, Miss. You've been speaking for long, and we've been keeping quiet. Miss, hold on, order.
Ambia hao watu wa Azimio, they go to Arizona State University website. They are on the net right now. They just go to the website and find out about these scholarships. These relevant questions, Mato, you're asking here.
Why are you guys so defensive, though?
No, we are just, you know, the topic of today was let the scroll pass and then I read them to you. Kenyans frustrations with the Dr. Ruto's administration. It should be this way. Azimio is frustrated with the Dr. Ruto's administration in his 100 days in office.
And
why?
Don't you think false scholarship promises, and with 100,000 you know, a stamp on it,
if you have not applied for it, if you have not applied for it, you don't need it. There are people out there who need that free scholarship. Let them do it. Don't discourage them.
What's a scholarship?
You see, Mato, when you are coming from a side that is offering nothing, then you just keep quiet. Let the government do its work.
What's a scholarship?
Call it a cat, call it a dog.
Hawa wasikumbushe kitu hawa watu wa UDA hawa, kwa sababu wao chochote kile wanazungumzia ni kuona kwamba yani hata kama sipo wanalazimisha pawe nilipo. Ndio jambo la uongo, na kama ni uongo mnakataa, na ndio kitu ambacho tunakishuhudia hapa. So wakati mnalaumu kwamba atazimia nini, nyinyi wenyewe tu ni mambo na propaganda na uongo. Hebu uliza tu kama kuna kitu gani ambacho sasa hivi Mkenya anaweza akajivunia within hizo 100 days. Hasa Wakenya hao ambao ni walengwa zaidi kama hao Marcelo alikuwa anazungumzia. So hawa UDA ni watu wa kujidefend, watu wa shindani. Lazima tupite na hii, hata kama sivyo, that's not leadership. Hiyo si uongozi, huo ni kutafuta madaraka hapo. So wasikumize kichwa na hawa watu. Mato, kuna hiyo hata na hiyo mjadala hiyo, tuende mambo mengine. Maana watakuzungusha kichwa nani mzalendo na misi hapa, na wanaelewa kabisa kwamba kiongozi wao ni wa kwanza kuongoza kwa ahadi za uongo.
Lakini ndugu Chaka Mtune, hatuna ushabiki leo. Tunajaribu kusema kwa kweli hawajasema wametumia pesa 1,100, Wakenya wanalipa 1,100. Wanasema kusingelikuwa na mpangilio wa kufanya wa serikali ama wa hii information, basi kwa kawaida mtu angekuwa analipa 1,100 kusingelikuwa.
Okay, Mise, at this point I'm going to
Lakini
I'm about to mute you.
Mpango wa serikali hapo ndani kwamba kuna pesa ya serikali iliingizwa kwa Arizona. Hakuna pesa iliingizwa hapo. Ushaona? Ni kitu walienda wakaona kweli kumbe hii kitu ni free. Let's get back to our people. Wajaribu kuingia hapo na wasome. Sasa hiyo ni kwamba makadirio tu katika kichwa chake, kwa sababu haina exact figure, kwamba yeye anasema ingalikuwa, ushaona, basi ingekuwa ipige thamani yake inafikia 100 billions. Unajua ingalikuwa hana, si kwamba ni kitu ambacho usitumize kitu hapo kwa mambo madogo, lakini hii kitu automatically this thing is free. Na ndio mahali kwa Mato anazungumzia kwamba hii kitu ni free, kwa sababu mimi ameingia pale akakuta kumbe hii kitu imeletwa kwetu ni free. Lakini kwa makadirio ni kwamba ingalikuwa ina thamani ya kiasi kama hicho cha 100 billions. Na rais pia hajasema kwamba hii kitu kwamba ni pesa ama serikali ndio imeingiza pesa pale. Ndio maana sasa hivi imekuwa drive back to people, kwa sababu serikali ile imeafford 100 billions. 100 billion.
Ndugu yangu Chaka Mdune, sasa shida ipo wapi? Shida kwa
sababu tunang'ang'ana hapa kwamba kitu ni free, nyinyi mnasema no, Arizona is not free. Ingia hapo, mnaletwa bishani hapo. Wakati hii ililetwa, hii ni free.
Haujatuelewa. Sisi tunasema aje? Nyinyi mnasema kwamba, na tunatumia maneno ya ndugu yako Mato. Mato alisema kwamba rais anawakanganya wa Kenya ili hivi kwamba hii course ilikuwa iwe kwa nini Wakenya walipe 1,100, na sisi tunasema Wakenya hawafai kulipa 1,100, lakini rais alisema kwa kawaida ingekuwa 1,100, lakini kupitia ile mipango imewekwa na mikakati kati ya serikali ya Kenya na University of Arizona, sasa itakuwa ni ya bure. Sasa ugomvi uko wapi kakangu?
Ugomvi unaingia hapo kwamba wanasema kwamba serikali ni mipango ipi, of which sasa hivi ukiingia hapo unaipata free. Kwa hiyo it seems hata kabla hiyo kutangazwa na rais still bado ilikuwa kiassess ni free, ushaona. Lakini imeletwa kwa sababu hii ililetwa kwa sababu ya kujaza tu uwanja wa Nyayo. Hiyo tu ilikuwa mbinu ya kujaza uwanja wa Nyayo. Sasa tusidrive hapa wakati tunajua mbinu na lengo la kutajwa kuzungumziwa hilo ni kwa sababu tujaze uwanja wa Nyayo, la sivyo ungekuwa empty kama ilivyokuwa Wasingishu.
Sasa inakufaidi nini? Inakufaidi nini kama uwanja utakuwa empty? Inakufaidi nini?
Sasa utaenda utazungumzia na viti.
Nataka sana uwanja uwe empty. Sasa utafaidika nini? Ufurahie kwamba rais watu hawajahudhuria mkutano?
Kufaidika nini? Ni kuonyesha ukweli kwamba imani ya huyu rais na Wakenya, je, ipo kweli? Je, watu wanampenda? Je, watu waridhika? Je, watu wanaridhika na yale wanafanya? Kwa sababu kigezo na kipimo kikubwa hapa, ndugu yangu Mise, ni Mkenya wa kawaida. Delivery inafanywa kule juu na uongozi. Je, Mkenya anafurahikia huku au anaambiwa subiri tu, mazuri anakuja, usiwe na wasiwasi, mara ndio hiyo pesa yake inachezeshwa tena merry go round hapo.
Haya, Chaka Mdune,
subiri yeye tena. Wewe unajua vitu vingine nani, ndugu yangu Mise, we are here, tuko hapa kuelimishana, tuko hapa kukosoana. Wewe unaweza kuna mawazo yako tofauti na mimi yangu tofauti, lakini ukweli ni kwamba 100 days zimeisha, matumaini ya Mkenya still bado. Kubaliana na hicho, na ili kuprove haya yangu nazungumza ni kweli. Angalia juzi Jamhuri Day huko Wasingishu, ile picha ilitokea kule, machiefs ndio waliattend hiyo meeting, kwamba hata watu wa nyumbani pia hawana imani na hii serikali. So kilichobaki ni wa viongozi wajaribu angalau kuwaleta watu kwa pamoja, waone kweli kwamba hii serikali inafanya, but watu hawana imani nayo. That's the truth.
Haya, ndugu yangu Chaka Mdune, subiri kidogo, wacha tukimsubiri Mato arudi, wacha mama anaitwa Katwe aende azungumze kidogo. Katwe.
Thank you very much. You know, I've been following up this conversation for some time now, and I just want to say this. You know, before we ask why in my hometown, huwa tunauliza wakati kifaranga kilikuwa kinachukuliwa na mwewe, chenyewe kilikuwa wapi? Hiyo ndio swali ya kwanza mimi nataka kuuliza. Manake chanzo cha kitu kama hichi ambacho kuna mnazungumzia eti kwamba ati mmepewa Wakenya wamepatiwa scholarship ya bure kwenda Arizona. The fact still remains the same. the government of the day cannot be leveraging Kenyans on the account of free things and cheap things. We've seen this government giving free things to Kenyans in an exchange of political expediencies. In this sense, mbolea ilikuwa bure, lakini tunaambiwa ni government ya UDA imepatiana mbolea. Mara tunaambiwa that ndio upate hii scholarship, the condition is you have to go to Nyayo Stadium. You are using free things for political expediencies that the condition is for you to get this scholarship, you have to come to Nyayo Stadium. You've seen this government giving state commendations to their sycophants. For example, to be honest, let us just ask this question. I'm just asking this question. What did Honorable Gladys Bosholei do to Kenyans for her to be given a state commendation? Just give me one reason as to why she was given such a kind of a state commendation. To be told that we are told that she was honored with an OGW commendation. It is so much heartening that you're making the rights of Kenyans that for me to get water, I should have supported the government of the day. Elections zikisha isha, that is it. You cease to become a political leader. You become a Kenyan leader. Whether I voted for you or not, I deserve to be given those services. You cannot tell me that at the end of the day, I have to support you for me to get those services. That is where you will get some politicians, instead of pumping water to pipes for us to get water in our houses, they instead resolve to bring those water in water boozers, for reasons that for you to continue getting these services for the next 10 to 15 years, you'll keep on voting for me because I have been giving you water in water boozers. But you have the capability of pumping this water to these pipes so that I can be able to get this water. And I'm getting this as a very stupid, let me use this word, I'm sorry, Ashakomsi Matusi. But I'm getting this as a very stupid political strategy, in a sense that, let me give you an example. If you know Nairobi very well, part of Eastlands of Nairobi are the ones that are paying huge taxes because that is where people are doing businesses. But you'll find the place where these people are paying these taxes, their water is being rationed. But water is being taken to other places like Karen, and it's flowing in the taps every day na inamwagika mpaka inapanda nyasi in Karen or in Ngong or in other suburbs of this town. But when you're asking this, you're told in Kibera you never voted for William Ruto, so you're not going to get this kind of services because if you saw a clip where Honorable Silvana Sosoro was arguing why Kisii people did not get PSS, he says that most of those PSS that applied were in the other side of the political divide. So I'm asking this, must I support the government of the day to get the services of the government? You're telling me to attend in Nyayo Stadium for me to get a scholarship, which means there is a condition as to why I should get government services. It's not about if it's free or not. I'm supposed to be getting clean water. I'm supposed to be getting electricity. I'm supposed to be getting better housing, whether I supported you or not. It's not about the political divide. So me, I'm getting this as a hoax in a very funny manner, that in as much as, even if we don't speak about Arizona right now, you'll find out that if you did not support William Ruto, at the end of the day, you're not going to get those services. That is why Rigathi Gachagua is going around telling people, you saw William Ruto telling the people of Western that if for you to get these services, you have to be in the government so that we can work together. How is it that my political stand is an impediment to getting the services of this country? It is very painful when me say I will disagree with you in this sense, in as much as it is free. first of all, I can go to Arizona University right now, or I can get those online services by myself. But because the Kenyan people are ignorant of this kind of information, they resolve to go and beg low to bend low to these political hogwigs for them to get free services. You're begging to get your rights. It is not that it's a privilege. I am supposed to go to William Ruto's office right now and demand to see him because he is working for me. He's not working for. He's not. I'm the one who employed him. But one thing we should understand that these politicians were employed by Kenyans. We are the human resource managers for these people. So, me getting these services, it's not a privilege. It is my right. If I can put that one right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kwetu. Those are very good remarks. I think you're right within your argument. I don't know who wants to go next. Who has a question or would like to add or subtract what Kwetu is saying, or would like to continue saying something? Jeremani, I think you've raised your hand for some time now. Go next. It looks like Jeremani is hung there. As he comes back, oh, you're back. Okay, you're good now.
Right. Thank you. This is the passion. Okay. You can hear me now?
It's a little bit better, but there's seems to be some glitches. Do you want to get out and join again?
You can hear me?
Yeah, a little bit sluggish though. Jeremani, you can exit and come back in. In the meantime, Zalendo, go next.
Katwe, you have got very strong points. The only thing that you need to differentiate are political appointments. Political appointments are political. You give them to your supporters, people who supported you into office. By asking whether Gladys Soleil deserved a medal, I don't know what medal she received, but I think it's a state recommendation. That is something that is discussed within the presidency. It is not something for the public. Remember the Githeri man was, remember that guy with the Githeri? He was given a state recommendation juu ya kubeba Githeri kwa line. So kuna vitu zingine, Gladys Boss Soleil fought for this government and it carried the day. She was in every talk show trying to debunk Azimio talking points. And she was all over. Hata Bomas uliona alikuwa pale. So they owe it to her. She did a good job for UDA. So being given that award, I think she deserves it. She deserves it, just like the Githeri man deserved it. About appointments, be it ambassador appointments, be it ministerial appointments, those ones are done by the president and atapatia watu wake. So you don't want to, if you are so good in Azimio and you want to work for UDA government, lazima utoke Azimio uingie UDA ndio upatiwe kazi ya serikali. It cannot go the other way. If you are in Azimio, weka huko Azimio, you wait for your turn to rule this country and appoint the people that you want.
Thank you very much, Mzalendo. I think Kenya with Love and Julia is back. Kenya with Love, do you want me to bring Julia and then you pick up from there?
Yeah, you go ahead, and I think Julia should be taking over from here. I'll just be sitting here and just listen for a minute as you guys are going on.
Yeah.
Julia, thank you for showing up. Probably will be letting the show, handing it over to you in a minute.
Yeah. So, Julius, you come in. Let me also put something to Katwe. Katwe, you raise um, very good theoretical points and expectation, but practically, there's something called symbiotic relationship or symbiosis in governance. So anywhere in any government, in any hata kwa kazini kwako, people always, you will tend to see, it's a nature, you will tend to see kama wewe ni Safaricom, if you see the CEO of Safaricom, for example, I'm just giving an example, ukiangalia vizuri kama ni Mkamba, utaona a lot of utaanza kuona Wakamba wengi wanakuja because naturally that is how people behave. Or let me say, usually in politics, yule watu, you reward people wale ambao wamekuwa nawe, vile Mzalenda amesema, but it is true, you are the boss of your president, but at the same time the president has his own out of priority on how he wants to run his government, and he can do that, and he has a right for appointments, and people like boss Gladys Boss Cholet, um, she is one of the most competent lawyers, and you saw when she was at the judiciary, she did a very good job, even though she had some scandals. You have to know that when you're in the public, always there are people who like you and there are people who don't like you, and the earliest they get a scandal for you to get out, the better. You remember PLO Lumumba, when he was appointed to head ethics and EACC, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. He was followed up with when he started streamlining it, uliona the scandal that some scandals that came around. So what I'm trying to say is that the president, it's called symbiotic relationship. If you wanna find out, it's rewarding the people. Even when you look at the most developed countries or democracies that have matured, you'll realize that people who were loyal to to their people, they will end up getting appointments. You remember people like Jaguar, they were appointed Akina Chipkizi. I don't know why you have not complained, because it was Jaguar was appointed by the president. I think he was doing something in the Ministry of I think it was culture or something. I don't remember. Chipkizi is appointed to Nakada, and this is because somehow the Akina Kihari, you remember those Kihari, Minor Kihari, those guys from Ridiculous. So people, when you align yourself to certain people in the government, you get certain privileges, and that comes without any question. But otherwise, in reality, in real life, on paper, constitutionally, it shouldn't be that way, but unfortunately that's what it is. Thank you.
Asante Mise, thank you very much Mise. Kenyan with love, Zalendo, Chaka, Katwe, Jeremani. Thank you Mise for moderating. You're a wonderful moderator, and thank you very much for holding up. Najua umechoka sana. I think I heard you several hours ago. Then something happened. I think I got held up. But you people, you are just wonderful. You held up the show, and that was a good job. I think Katwe wants to reply. Katwe, naona mkono yako kwa juu. Ama Ndeto unasemaje? Nikubali Katwe aendelee. He wants to say something. Okay, asante Ndeto. Yes, Katwe, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, Mise decided to defend himself and again shoot himself on the leg because at one point he's saying that we should do things in a natural. The nature dictates that the president can decide to appoint whoever he feels like. The principle behind this whole thing. You remember the Supreme Court's ruling saying that the basic doctrine cannot be used for constitutional amendments. And one thing I will like to tell Mr. is that the Constitution has its own way that it pronounces itself. There is nowhere those state medals are said that you can award whoever who supported you or not, because these state commendations are for those people, those extraordinary people who worked for Kenyans. For example, there is that policeman who, when they were in somewhere in close to Somalia, when they were attacked by Al-Shabaab, he made sure that his team came back home safely, in as much as some of them perished, but he made sure that he had fought so hard that he brought some of his askaris back home. I think he was in the special forces in a branch of police. Those are some of the awards that we give to such people, not because you did not take shower for 3 days for you to be awarded a state commendation. Missing shower for 3 days, that is your own problem. I mean, these medals are awarded for extraordinary people who undertook extraordinary missions, who delivered something universal to all Kenyans. For example, I will tell you, like Ferdinand Omanyala deserves to be given a state medal. For example, Eliud Kipchoge deserves, even one road is supposed to be named after him, because whatever that he delivered, he did not deliver to the government of the day. He delivered for the whole Kenyan. So with Gladys Boshole being in Bomas of Kenya, not showering for 3 days to deliver to the government, she was being paid by the same political party to deliver that. That was her job. I mean, it's like when you're going to some hotel or some organization, and then you find that soldier who is at the door asking you to, or anakasirika.
Now, Mise, why did Mise block Katwe? And Katwe was saying something that somebody didn't shower for 3 days, so she was rewarded.
He adversely mentioned me, and can I respond within 1 minute?
Okay, and then we have Jeremiah. I think he wants to talk.
Thank you very much. I think he misquoted me. I did not say Gladys Boshole spent 3 days without showering. And possibly it's my able friend Zalendo who said that. But that being said, that was a sacrifice for a woman to stay 3 days without shower. That in itself is not. It shows sacrifice. But that being said, he said extraordinary Kenyans. A woman of Gladys Shole's caliber to stay 3 days without shower, that is extraordinary moments. His boss, the boss decided to reward them the way he wanted to reward her. But that being said, to define, how do you define extraordinary? What is that threshold of that definition, so that now you can say, oh, you met this threshold, now you meet here? Who defines that? So, and he was trying to bring in the constitution. Not everything that is entrenched in the constitution. Some things, there are bylaws, there are policies that work hand in hand or support the spirit and the vision of the constitution. So I think it's misleading for Cartwright to say that the issue, the people who define or make policies, in their wisdom put in something, a clause called symbiotic relationship. They are not stupid. When Obama went to was re-elected, he chose Joe Biden. He chose Hillary Clinton to be the Secretary of State. When he was re-elected, he chose Joe Biden. because these are the people who understood his vision and who were there ready to support his vision. They say, when you are a pillar at the middle, you put other pillars that can take a bullet around you. Before that bullet gets to you, they would have defended you. And that is what the president is doing, positioning people who have internalized and conceptualized his vision and will support it to the core, no matter what. Thank you.
Asante Mise Jeremani.
Thank you, Julia. When Mise initially started the conversation, he accused me of not answering a particular question. And what I wanted with him was the following. Six at Arizona, at Nairobi University. May cost. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, though you are. I don't know whether
You can hear
I'm
me?
the one hearing that his voice is cutting. I think
He is on and
Okay,
off.
that's one of the things I discovered. That's one of the things I discovered about Canada. The internet in Kenya is pretty stable. But you can hear me now?
Yes, you're
Right,
good,
thank
sir.
you. So, good, thank you. So, Mise had said that, though I don't want to dwell on it too much, that the 100,000 was not properly answered. And that if we get to the element of writing letters to the president, we'll be making matters so trivial. But I can share with Mise that he just has gone into elaborating my point. There can never be anything trivial from a sovereign writing to the president. A sovereign. And if I decide to write a letter to the president, I'm writing institution of the presidency. The institution is required to respond to me as a sovereign. There can never be anything trivial about that. Advancing or taking it forward. I like what Katwe said. I wish to repeat it because when I said it the last time, I think the internet went off. Katwe expresses the passions that are in the Kenyan society. And I like that he has been able to articulate it very well. I think better than I would have given the opportunity. Thank you, Katwe. One of the things that I picked from Katwe is that awards have been given to people who have done exemplary national duties. And I remember that back in 2002, I worked for the Electoral Commission of Kenya. I was in the media center at Charter Hall. Charter Hall, of course, is where the city council used to be, but now is offices of the county government. We did not have a television in the media center of the Electoral Commission. And I volunteered and I said, can I rush back home, get a small black and white 14-inch TV, which I brought to the media center. That 14-inch TV was our television for the period that we had elections in 2002. I'm here to get my medal to date. I served my nation, but but that's just on a, all I'm saying is this. Some of these medals that we get, or our fellow Kenyans get, over time there's been a lot of mamas, whether some people
Bibi Imani tumsikii
apologies,
kabisa,
lakini
huyu
internet
kaka
watu
Jeremia kabisa.
Well, I guess Katu ako na shida ama ni mimi peke yangu?
It's
Tumsikii kabisa yani.
Jeremani hatumsikii. Jeremani umepotea, sauti imepotea. Na Katwe unasikika ama Katwe, you wanted to finish what you are saying as Jeremani sorts his network. Jeremani, you can log in, we'll admit you.
And Katwe, make it clear that I did not push you out. It was your network, because people are complaining that I pushed you out. Okay?
Yeah. No. Katwe, it is Pisa who pushed you out. I can promise you that.
No, Julian, please. Katwe, please clear that. Put that
I
disclaimer.
just want to make it sure. Anybody that can hear me, please, tafadhali tujue kama tunasikizana si wote. I think there's a problem with the network.
No. We can hear you. It is Katwe and Jeremani that we can hear. Mise, we can hear Chaka. Katwe, be careful. The man on top of you there. We ongea. Nitakwambia bila
I understand.
Rights. I do not have admin rights.
I understand.
The two up there, they are the boss, Julia and Kenyan with love. So please, I'm exonerated from that.
Yeah, Mr. Yeah, honestly, you are exonerated, because for us, from the side of Azmir, we don't lie. We don't lie. So I will not lie that you are the one who pushed me out, because actually my lights went off and I think my router decided to do that thing. So I wanted to finish up this way. The reason as to why I said that we should surgically look for where the problem started in our education system, that now we are being given being given rights. You know, there is during the time when Russia conquered all those other states around them, that time the leader of the Soviet Union was called Joseph somebody, and he decided to kutoa kuku manyoya one by one ikiwa alive, akaichuna yote, akachuna, na it is very painful to that chicken. And then after doing that injustice to this particular chicken, akachukua mahindi. Kuku ilikuwa imetoroka mbali, akaanza kuirushia mahindi kutoka mbali, kuku ikaanza kukula, ikikuja mpaka ikafika kwa mguu yake. So hii kuku at the end of the day haikukumbuka that huyu mtu, hii mahindi yenye nakula inatoka kutoka kwa ule mtu mwenye amenitoa manyoya nikiwa alive. What am I trying to demystify? This is the thing, that we undergo a lot of atrocities as Kenyans, but at the end of the day, saa hii tutapiga kelele, will make a lot of noise saying that this government of the day, but come 2027, right now we are being skinned alive. Come 2027, tutarushiwa mahindi moja mpaka ifike kwa mtu mwenye anaitwa na William Ruto, na tutasema Ruto wetu. I'm not surprised by this hustler fund that ikifika 2027 watu watasamehewa this hustler fund, na atoke kwa podium aseme si niliwasamehea ile hustler fund, si mimi ni mtu wenyu, sasa si mnipigie kura. That is the kind of mahindi yenye tutarushiwa in 2027. The mahindi yenye we were skinned alive in 2007 and 2008 when William Ruto became the Minister of Higher Education, when he decided to bring all sorts of, I will call them useless courses. Until right now, when you tell someone I have a degree, it is very useless. Right now, tunaambiwa that come to the stadium so that I can give you this online course. Tunarushiwa mahindi at the end of the day, but we do not remember who caused this problem.
Katwe,
Yes.
Nikuulize swali na pole na pole sana kuingilia ukiwa unaongea, but let me ask you a question. hii pesa yenye mumepewa ya hii watu wamepewa ya Hustler Fund, watu wameanza kulipa kweli? Do we know watu wenye already wamelipa na wenye wajalipa watafanya nini? Because it's already 2 weeks, ilikuwa ilipo in 2 weeks, wenye walipata 475 not 500. So watu wameanza kulipa already.
First of all, there is a case in court about the Hustler Fund because the controller of budget is being asked to explain where this money came from because first of all, it was not discussed in Parliament. Yes, when you see in adverts, it is being said that this is government money. So first of all, Kenyans will want to know, even those people who voted for UDA government, they will want to know the source of the money. Secondly, when William Ruto was making these promises, he said this money will be free. So first of all, Kenyans will go with the first statement because the first statement is the one that is true. You cannot tell me that you're going to give me free money and at the end of the day, you are telling me that you're going to charge me an interest of 8% per annum and then expect me nirudishe. Unaomba pesa ya kufungua kinyozi, unapewa pesa ya kunyoa. So one, this is not I have not seen anyone who has paid, not even from the Azimio side, because I'm sure part of the people from Azimio, even most of them borrowed money. Most of the people from UDA borrowed this money, but we've not seen money being paid back to the so-called government. Because at the end of the day, what we are asking is this: why would you give us money that we do not know the source? Kwani pesa ni ya Illuminati ama ni ya bangi umeuza unakuja kutupatia? Na watu wengi, they are not going, and let me tell you this, people are thinking that when the Azimio side said that they are not going to pay that UDA people. If this money is genuine, let the UDA people start by paying. Na waseme we are supporting the government of the day, wacha turudishe hii pesa so that it gains interest so that we can borrow tomorrow. Wacha waanze wao wenyewe. Ndeto, let them start by paying. In fact, in a weekend where I don't see where I'll get money from, I'm going to take that Hustler Fund and I'm going to eat it. That is, hiyo ni maoni yangu. Hiyo sio maoni ya Mutembei TV, hiyo si maoni ya mtu yoyote, hiyo si maoni. Don't take this one as a comment from Mutembei TV. This is a comment from me personally. Nikisota nitachukua hiyo pesa na nienjoy, nikule vile nasikia, because this is my money that is being used. This is money that has been sent by the government of the day. So I'm not going to apologize for that. We are going to take that money and we are not going to pay. That is the final comment about that.
Yes, Katwe, go Katwe, get the money. Na utugawie sisi na kina mise. Ukipewa kitu na Katwe, usikatae. Hii ni pesa yetu. And but the question what Katwe has said is asking a question that I think has not been answered by the Kenya Kwanza government. Where was this money budgeted? Can the control of budget explain the sources of this money? Can it be accounted for? How much money has been withdrawn in the name of Hustler Fund? How much money? How much money has been returned? And if it is not returned, who is going to pay for the money that is not returned? What will you do with these people who will not pay for the money? Because I even understand the KK government say they are not taking people to CRB. So, who will pay for this money? Are there chances that somebody is trying to loot our government coffers, the same of Hustler Fund? I said, this is a scandal. This is a scam. Mlisema ile akina Murungaru, zile za akina Murungaru. Sasa hizi zimemultiply za akina Murungaru times 2. But I'm not surprised because the people who are in government are looters. We know them. And you people, you are complaining why Gladys Boshule was rewarded. Mrs. said she even has a scandal. I think she was sacked or something. This is a government of scandalous people. So the more you are scandalous, kama wewe ni mwizi sugu, utapata zawadi next December. If you're working for Kenyan Kwanza government, still as much as you can. Next Jamhuri, you will be awarded. According to me, these are their heroes. We can see who they are heroes. So you people, why are you people surprised who was rewarded? These are the heroes of Kenya Kwanza government. Where is
Julia,
it?
si Kenya Kwanza, tumbo kwanza. Si Kenya Kwanza, tumbo kwanza government. Not Kenya Kwanza
Kenya
government.
Kwisha.
Tumbo kwanza.
Kenya
Tumbo
Kwisha.
kwanza,
Okay.
tumbo kwanza.
Chaka niseme Kenya Kwisha government. So if yesterday I concluded my statement yesterday tukifunga show jana. Nikasema sometimes it is futile arguing with people from KKA because our values are different. You see, we're talking about integrity. They don't talk about integrity. Wanasifu mtu kama niye ni jambazi. Those are their heroes, majambazi. So you people don't be surprised on national celebrations, Ruto will be rewarding majambazi. Because these are government of majambazi. If these people are not suspected of crimes against humanity, they are suspected of stealing, massive corruption, or killing, or all of the 4 crimes I've mentioned, or 2 of them. Name them. Sasa Gladys nani mtu akusi? Tunaongelea Gladys nini hapa? And she's an embarrassment to the Kenyan people. Just because she was in Bomas trying to rig elections. So she's Ruto's hero. It's okay. Me, I understand data. That's Ruto's hero. If you steal, if you kill somebody, if you rob somebody, if you snatch somebody's farm, you'll be Ruto's hero because those are his values. And those are the values of Akina Mise. Now Mise ni lawyer. You should be condemning such things because you are a lawyer. You should on the other side. Unajua kuna fikanga mahali mingine hata kama mtu anaunga serikali. Mimi kama wacha niwaambie ukweli. Mimi Martin I'll give you a chance. Wacha niseme hivi. Anaambianga ukweli. Mimi kama ningekuwa pande ile nyingine. Let's say that if I quietly voted for Ruto for reasons better known to me. Singeongelea hiyo maneno. Because I'll be ashamed of it. And let me tell you something. When Uhuru vied for presidency, I voted for Uhuru, but I wouldn't come here and really fight for Uhuru because I wouldn't have very good, reasonable reasons to fight for Uhuru. Singekuwa na sababu mingi sana ati nianze kuteta, ati niwaambie ati Uhuru versus Raila, Uhuru amefanya hivi, ametusaidia na hii, especially 2013. I mean, as 2013, I wouldn't come here to tell you those things because I'll be lying even to my heart. Unafikanga mahali ingine unanyamaza, tunaona tu hakuna mahali ya kutetea ujambazi. You just keep quiet. You just decide that I'm not doing this. Let me talk about other things. And I'm not doing this. So kutetea Gladys Sherwe and the others, me, I think that one, it just tells us what our values are. That are the values of Ruto's government. Those are his values. Ujambazi. And that is what is. So Katwe, don't be surprised. That is what this government is. Period.
Julia.
Those are their values. This wacha nimalizie.
Julia, she was acquitted of all the criminal charges, so I don't know why you're calling her.
Who is acquitted? Who was acquitted?
Na pia Julia, Uhuru na Ruto walikuwa kwa serikali, walikuwa wezi wote.
Hapana, sisi si wezi mzalendo. Don't say that everybody who was in that government was a thief. Let me tell you something. It is not everybody who was in Uhuru's government a thief. You people stop just find that thuggery. Hata Uhuru mwenyewe hana scandal hata moja peke yake. Uhuru himself, he doesn't have a single scandal. And but the other no. Mzalendo.
Umesema nini? Tukufungulie chapter.
Hapana, naomba mwache nimalize kuongea. Uhuru himself doesn't have a single scandal. The only thing that I blame Uhuru for, and even now I can question him about, is that he allowed thieves in his government and he did nothing about it. That one, iyo sitamsamehe. He saw a thief. One of these was his running mate. This was his running mate. He had thieves working with him, and some of them were his relatives. Sasa iyo, the scandals mentioned about his relatives, the scandals of his close friends, that one I say Uhuru hapa ulitukosea, hawa watu ungeweka ndani. Lakini Uhuru hajaambiwa you people you hate Uhuru that alipewa shamba na baba yake. Nyinyi si mungeambia baba zenyu, mama zenyu waolewe na baba yake ndio mpe hizo shamba. Why are people jealous of Uhuru's, of Kenyatta's family? Si mungeambia mama zenyu na your aunties waolewe na mzee Kenyatta. So today we'll be talking to you about you as the son of the president. So if you want to blame Uhuru for his father's property, that doesn't make sense. Let us talk about the old mzee.
Julia, wakati baba ya Uhuru alikuwa anatafuta mahali akishika shamba somewhere, mababa zetu na mababu zetu walikuwa wanacheza twisti. So I don't see how hard working ya mtu.
Okay, Katwe, I'm sorry, wacha nikukate hata wewe. I also don't think the old mzee did the right thing, because there are lots of land that people say that the family cannot account for because of their father. And I think it was just fair enough for him to distribute that land. So I think the old mzee Kenyatta, wacha tu nimalizie Kenya, nisahau my point. So I don't want to say that Mzee Kenyatta did the right thing. In fact, I think Mzee Kenyatta opened a door for corruption for this country. I think so. But Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta hana mzalendo, wachanengi hiyo vivyo yenyu mko nayo. Na kama mulitamani sana muwe the sons of the first family, I'm sorry, Gina was too beautiful and our grandmothers did not get there. Because I think Gena is the age of my grandmother, and my grandmother was not lucky enough to have been noticed by the mzee. So this is not to kubali. Those of you from Mount Kenya region who hate Uhuru for that, shame on you. But it is just because your mothers and your grandmothers were not married by Mzee Kenyatta. So Uhuru is a clean man when it comes to corruption, but he's not clean when it comes to administration, because he decided to be hands off and allowed thieves to invade our government. On the contrary, the leaders of the Kenya Kwanza government, all of them are full of scandals, from the boss to the deputy boss to the cabinet secretaries, thieves, murderers, looters, name them. That is what we are. Watu wachafu, watu wamejichafua, mikono yao imechafua, mikono yao imeshika hapa na pale. So you people, why are you surprised that they go around rewarding other thieves and scandalous people? Those are the people who are going to be rewarded in this government. And let them reward all of them. We shall be saying, in this Jamhuri Day, they rewarded this number of thieves. On the next Jamhuri Day, they rewarded these thugs. That's what we shall be saying. It will go in record that in this government, rewarded thugs, criminals in national celebrations. It will go into record. Iyo ndio Kenya wajue hivyo. Last is that I allow Kenyan love to say something. Katwe said something about the scholarship. I was searching and I found that Arizona State University has so many scholarships that you can look up and find, especially if you're going to be a student of online. So Ruto is taking advantage of the high level of ignorance of some Kenyans who cannot go online and simply search and find the scholarship. I want to announce one scholarship here. If you are a teacher, kama wewe ni mwalimu, if you're a teacher in Kenya and you want to study freely, Master of Education, you'll only pay for your exam fee. Go to the university called the University of the People in California, United States. All of you can go to your Google search right now. University of the People in the United States is offering free tuition online, Master of Education. Sasa nyinyi msituletee hapa ati mnajua ati mnaenda online mnasearch hizo ma scholarships mnazipata mnakuja kutanganya watoto wetu pale Kamukunji ati mnawaambia mmewapatia scholarship. Can you stop this high class nonsense Kenya Kwanza government? Ati mnatudanganya hapa. Kenyans, fellow Kenyans, Ruto every day he wakes up with a lie. He manufactures a lie, and because some Kenyans are so ignorant, they buy those lies. And ati mmepewa scholarship mnaenda kwa uwanja. Katwe asked, do I have to go to that meeting so that to be given that scholarship? I'm a Kenyan. Why it can't be voted online, you apply? Huo ni upuzi gani tumeletewa hapo Kenya? Tuachange na nyinyi mnaletea hiyo maneno, mwachange kuletea hiyo maneno, tuambieni maneno mengine. Give us other points that we can do that are coming from this government, or the way we can improve this government. Mustete upuzi kama huo. Don't do that. It is a shame even for Mutembei TV. I'm sorry Kenyan in love. Nimekuja kuwasha moto because nyinyi mliwasha moto, sasa nimeweka kuni kwa hiyo moto. Karibu Kenya in with love. Endelea.
Hujawasha moto. Umeweka mali nafaa.
Unaona Mato vile amefurahia. Hapo ndio
umeweka moto mali imekuwa. Mali nafaa kukua. You've done your due diligence as a human being. And hujawasha moto, Julia.
Bato ongeza kuni kidogo.
What you've done, you say the truth. You know, I keep on saying here, but there's people, unawasha, unajaribu kuambia watu alafu wana, you know, ni kama kwenda jikoni, unaeka kuni kidogo tu ndo moto iwake.